Hi everyone, welcome back to my Animal Crossing series. This is episode 5 of Making Raeberry, and I'm so excited to show you my progress. I did a lot of traveling this past weekend, so I had a lot of time to terraform and decorate my island. So I want to show you what it looks like right now. I also want to decorate one area of my island on camera for you guys so you can see my decorating process. So let's go get started. Oh, also, while the game loads, something I completely forgot to mention is that we replaced Renee and Frobert with Tulin and Minuru. So I took advantage of using the new Legend of Zelda collab feature with the 3.0 update, and I used my Tulin and Zelda amiibos that I had to invite both of them to live on my island. So I'm really excited about that. Alright, I'm going to start my island tour from the airport. So as you can see, it looks a lot different than it did before. But coming into the island, you have a little bit of fun nature stuff, and I have a little welcome mat and a little curvy path that goes upstairs and to my house, which is surrounded by the castle kit. I really liked having a castle house on Korokoko, so I figured I would replicate it, but I have a pink house instead of a gray one. If you go to the left, it will take you to my shops. I put down this dirt path to help you get there, and I have some little stalls that I will be putting with furniture. I have the Able Sisters as well as Nook's Cranny all together. And I also made this cute little area for the museum. I found this really cool tile that can go on the ground and it's museum themed, and I made some waterfalls on the side to kind of be symmetrical and go around the museum, and I really like how it turned out. To the right side and behind my house is going to be a little park area. I chose out this stone that looks really cool with how the grass looks, and then over here is resident services. This blank area right here is what I'm going to decorate today. I want to turn it into like a little seasonal area where there'll be a little bit of water and then a big land mass in the center for a tree or something really big to signify what season it is. And then the second part of that will be down here. But it looks like we have a hotel visitor. That's also another feature of the 3.0 update that I didn't really cover last time, but whatever hotel visitor you have for the day, it might be a couple more depending on how many rooms you have decorated. The villagers stay in those hotel rooms and they also get to go around your island. So I made all of my island visitors wear my Grow t-shirt that I made for my senior recital, and it's just really cool seeing all of them look like they're supporting my senior recital, but in reality they're just visiting the island. But they're visiting to support me and my senior recital, and I'm very happy about that. But anyways, looks like Big Top is here, so really cool. It's just so cool to see all the villagers. There are some people that don't really like that there's random villagers wandering around the island, but I like seeing different villagers just because sometimes I get tired of seeing the same 10 villagers every day, even though I love all of my villagers. It's really cool to get some variety now and then. I'm just gonna continue the tour. Going down here will get you to the other side of my house. I really wanted to work a little bit more with terraforming and levels because especially when I was forming Korokoko, it was really flat. There were a couple levels in Alto Cliff too, but I wanted to make it look a little bit prettier and really play with the water and how different levels can look, because I've seen a lot of really cool islands look like that. But anyways, going across this dirt path here will get you across this bridge, and this is kind of my little farming center. I have a path going down to the beach here, and I just have some coconut trees planted. These are going to be the only coconut trees on my island because it's going to make it easier for bugs to spawn, and there's a lot of bugs that spawn in the summer that are palm tree bugs, so they're bugs that just spawn on palm trees and they spawn around like June, July, August. But anyways, I made a little farming area. The first area you see is actually my rainbow flower field. I got most of these flowers from a treasure island because I couldn't be bothered to breed a lot of flowers, and I already got the Nook Miles achievement for growing flowers and watering them. So I figured I may as well just get the flowers that I need from the treasure island, place them, and then go on with my day. I have not completed my garden though. These are all of the crops that I have, and I also made a couple signs for them. I think it's a lot easier to get crops and plant them rather than getting specific flowers and planting them. So I'm just gonna wait for Leaf to come to my island once in a while and then plant the crops. Same thing with the orchard back here. I have different types of trees, but only some of them are growing at the moment because I did place a lot of trees. I did also place a path in the middle of the orchard because I needed to be able to go from one bridge to the other. I'm not sure what I want to do with these blank areas above the orchard and before the campsite that you will eventually see. I was thinking about making like a rock garden or some sort of like fairy area. I've seen a lot of people do really cool like fairy stone, like mystical magical areas. And right now I've just been making all of my snow boys along here, but the majority of them have melted except for this one. So let's just give him one last conversation. Up here is going to be my campsite. I wanted to make my campsite a little bit more foresty and rustic. On Kurokoko, I had a beach campsite and I really liked it, but I wanted to make the campsite an actual campsite. And I think on Alto Cliff, I also had like a rustic type of campsite place, but it wasn't as big or as fancy as how I would like it to be here. I love camping in real life, so I kind of wanted to make that prominent here on Raeberry. But for now, I just have some log stakes, a clothesline. I put a DIY table by the campsite because I've been inviting a lot of amiibo villagers, especially to get Tulin and Minoru here. I also put an acoustic guitar here, and I'll be thinking of other ways to spruce up this campsite. On this side here, I made a little campfire area. I was going to put a bigger bonfire here, but I kind of like the small campfire. There's also not a lot of room because the lake takes up a lot of space. But I got the campsite sign from the Nook Shopping 3.0 update. You can get the Pocket Camp items on demand from Nook Shopping now instead of waiting for them to show up in your inventory from playing Pocket Camp. I think that's also because Pocket Camp has been discontinued and relaunched into a new paid format, so that's probably why they did that. But I also made this little cute campfire area because I wanted a place for tree stumps so I could get all of the tree stump bugs, and to make it look a little more full, I added some log stools. The reason that I have this lake up here is because on Kurokoko, I completely forgot to make upper rivers. Some of the special fish spawn only in rivers or lakes that are on the cliffs, and I didn't have any of those on my previous islands, so I wanted to make sure I had that, and I thought the campsite was a really good place for it. As you can see, there's a fish that spawned in the lake here, and I also added some waterfalls and some trees to make it look a little bit prettier. Let's keep going on this little tour. Over here to the left, I have some bridges. I made my river a really nice little curve. I worked really hard on that. You could see on the map down there, it's just your stereotypical river that just goes up and down, like what you'd see if you drew a river on a piece of paper. And that's really what I wanted it to look like. But I also wanted there to be a nice boardwalk here getting to Red's Secret Beach. And I also used some of the plain party light arches in order to get to Red's. And we may as well visit him since he's here. I haven't been doing a lot of gameplay since being on here last. I've been doing a lot of decorating, so I kind of been skipping my NPCs for the day, so this will only be my second time visiting Red, but I'm excited to see what I can get from him today. Alright, let's see what all we got. I can't really see a lot of what is here because of the darkness on my screen. But looking like this is a serene painting. Let's see if it is real or fake. Oh, I can tell. Okay, this one's fake. And now let's look at this detailed painting. I know for sure can be fake. The right one is blue and these are purple. So this is fake. Now I believe this next one, I could definitely see it. It's the academic painting. And the fake one has a little coffee stain in the corner. But let me take a look because I cannot tell if it has that coffee stain. And it totally does. The rock head statue has a smiling mouth at the bottom. His mouth is more neutral in the real version. Okay, let's see if we have a smile or... Yeah, this is a neutral one. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and collect this. Alright, so like I was saying before, this is my pathway to Red's Secret Beach. I used the plain party lights arches as well as a boardwalk code, and then I used some wooden partitions and a barrel back here to make sure nobody falls off. I did keep these areas open just in case fish spawn there. As you can see, there's one below me. And then on the sides here are different bushes. I tried to do them in a series of 4, so they would have one blooming for every season. So as you can see, the camellias are blooming right now. This here starts my neighborhood. I made sure to get all of the houses as close to that sidewalk as possible because I want each villager to have their own dedicated area. There's not a lot of dedicated space for my villagers on my previous islands. Korokoko, I just had random flowers surrounding all of the houses and made them correspond to the colors of the flowers. But I really want to make each of these houses unique in Raeberry because I've seen a lot of people doing that and I want to have fun with it. But anyways, this whole area is dedicated to all of my villagers. What I'm going to do eventually is put up fences like in between these side yards, and I also wanted to move the houses as close to the sidewalk as possible to give them a little bit of a backyard too, but it's looking like that's only going to be possible for the houses on the first level. But I really want to take advantage of these side yards and big areas of land in between all the houses as well, so I can make it really, really nice and looking like an actual home instead of just a house on the street. Up here is a bunch of trees that I planted, and this is where Tulin and Manuru are going to stay. But I want to make this area like a big forest, and I want it to contain all the Zelda items. So this is where Tulin lives, and over here is where Manuru lives. And I also included like the goddess statue and a heart container, and I really want it to be like an ancient Zelda inspired forest, or like a forest but it has little Zelda goodies in there that you have to look for. But anyways, continuing over to the left side of my island, we have another bridge and another area for bushes that will eventually bloom in different seasons, so you can tell what season it is and it will still look pretty all the time. A little bit more in my market area, I got that fortune cookie cart also from Nook Shopping with that new 3.0 update giving us access to the pocket camp items, and then I'm probably going to put some stuff on these carts, or I'm probably going to put some stuff on those stalls as well. Down here is a little foresty area that I'm planning to turn into a mini campsite. I made this heart-shaped lake and it turned out really good after lots and lots of tries, but that was also so I would have a lake on the lower level so I could get some of those fish that spawn down there as well. And then I'm not exactly sure what to do with the beaches yet. I want to make them comfy and cozy, but I don't have any specific plans. Like, I obviously have a dedicated area for the campsite, so I'm not going to put the campsite down there. I don't have a lot of other things or other plans ready for the beaches, but I just want to make them look cool. But anyways, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to terraform this area and make my nice festive area. I'm going to use all of the frozen ice things that I've been getting from making all of these perfect snow boys. I'm hopefully going to change out the design every season just so it stays updated with whatever the current day is. One of my favorite features of Animal Crossing is the fact that it updates in real time. So it's currently January as of filming this, so I want it to look all wintry, and then when we get to say February, we'll put the Festival stuff in. March, we could put St. Patty's stuff in, even though there won't be a lot of St. Patty's stuff, but maybe we could keep the festival stuff. And then April we'll get to Easter, so it'll be Buddy Day stuff, and then we'll get to summer stuff with the shell items, as well as maybe the mermaid items as well. We'll get to fall and do all of the fall acorn, maple leaf stuff, and then we'll do all the Halloween stuff, Turkey Day stuff, Christmas Day stuff. I really want it to change with the seasons, so I do have a plan of how I want this front area to look based off of how someone on Pinterest designed it. So I'm going to go ahead and start that now.
When I was young, I thought everything was up in the stars. And if I worked hard enough, I could reach up there and get really far. I learned the alphabet, but got upset when the letters weren't A. Thought the stars were only reachable if I had good grades. I was mailed a diploma and a GPS so I could see my ETA the time I'd get to success. But the way to get there keeps on changing. It promised a path straight through.
So my plan for this is for this to be like a tree viewing area, so like a big thing for whatever season it is. So the Festival float will go here, the Toy Day sleigh will go here, like the big Bunny Day stuff will go here, and then all of the other little stuff will go here, and I'll just like make a little cute little scene with it like I did with these Frozen stuff. I think what I'm gonna do now is I want to set up the main area, like the neighborhood area.
The rest of my life, but I had to reroute to keep myself alive. Now I'm lost, don't know if I'll arrive. I'm afraid my GPS isn't working right. It says I'll be late.
Alright, hello. So I finished decorating the bare bones of the neighborhood, so I wanted to go through it real quick. Sorry I didn't get all of the footage of me decorating this part. My computer died in the middle of it, but I wanted to quickly go over what I did. So what I'm doing for Spike's house is the left side is going to be like the old man side, and then the right side is going to be his music side, because I imagine him as like a punk rocker. So I'm gonna make like a mini stage for him. On Azalea's house, I have this blue iron garden bench so she can just like sit there and watch the world go by. And then I also have this blue cruiser bike. Actually, I think it's white, but I'll probably customize it to make it blue. And then this whole area, I'm going to make a little garden for her because she has the nature hobby. So I think she would enjoy looking at the different crops and watering them and maybe getting some flowers too. For Cookie's house, I used the new kitty furniture set that came in the 3.0 update, and I used the cute swatch on all of them. I think it goes really, really well with her bright pink aesthetic, and let's just imagine that she really likes playing with them. With Bob's house, I went with a nice garden lounge to go over here, and then I'll change the pillow depending on what villager I have as my lazy. And then I'm also gonna do like a little beehive and bee area so bees can come, because all of the lazy villagers like bugs, so I think that works really well. With Aurora's house, I'm doing a nice reading and nature area for her here. And I also have the iron garden table and iron garden chair, which is a callback to the beginning of the game, which are the things that you give to the starting normal villager. And then on her left side, I have another tiny library, as well as a swinging bench and an old-fashioned wash tub, because I think she would be a little old-fashioned like that. For Keaton's house, I'm gonna put another plain party lights arch here, but Keaton's probably not gonna be here forever, so I put a ring toss and then the barbecue. The whole vibe I'm going for with the Smug Villager's house is frat party, outdoor barbecue vibes, so I'll end up going with that. And then over here is Etoile's house. I want to mostly use just the Sanrio items. So I have the cinnamon roll sign. I have 2 of the Kiki and Lala cloud makers, Karakopi bridge, Karakopi lantern, cinnamon roll stool, and then 2 cinnamon roll parasols. I'll probably put a nice bench here so people can come in and sit on it. And then over here for Fuchsia's house, I did 2 blossom lanterns because she's pink, and then a hammock because she likes to sleep. And then I did a nice bistro table and a scooter because I think Fuchsia would enjoy getting around on a scooter. And then I also put the air conditioner back here because maybe Fuchsia's house is always hot or something like that. For Tulin and Manuru, I didn't do much. All I did was put the well in between them because it's a callback to Tears of the Kingdom, where you can go into the well and fight monsters and stuff down there. For Tulin's area, I'm probably going to make it based on like Breath of the Wild, which is why the Guardian's over here, because Tulin was in Breath of the Wild. We just didn't see him as much as we do in Tears of the Kingdom. And then for Manuru's side, I'll probably do more Tears of the Kingdom stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much what I did for the neighborhood. My next step will probably be finding a bunch of custom codes to make it all look pretty, and probably planting a little bit more bushes as well as maybe some trees to make everything look pretty. But this furniture is probably going to be interchangeable, because what I want to do with this island is when a villager asks to move out, I will let them, except if I like really like them. Keaton and Bob will probably definitely leave and be replaced. Spike might leave and be replaced, but I definitely like all of the other villagers. Etoile might leave and be replaced. But Azalea, Fuchsia, and Aurora are definitely my go-tos, and honestly, if any of the Zelda villagers ask to move out, I might let them too, but I really do like this Zelda forest that I'm building up here, and I also need to finish my farm area and start my little ferry area. I also need to work on the beaches, so we'll finish decorating the island next time, and then we'll also probably work on Happy Home Paradise eventually, because I do want to get those items that I can get just from Happy Home Paradise, as well as being able to access most of the furniture and being able to access it from the Poke catalog and then order it to my island. So I think that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching me decorate. I hope you enjoyed listening to my original music, and I will see you next time. Bye!
I try to stay on the line, projected on the screen, but I'll crash or get stuck down a one-way street. Guess I'm delayed for life. No, I'll never be